Hi, Charlotte. Great to have you. How are you?
Thank you. Thanks so much for inviting me on.
I'm so excited. I know we've been connected for a while, but since we did the panel, it's just been great to learn about your story and had no idea, to be honest, like some of the stuff that you went into. So I'm super excited for everyone listening in and everyone watching to just learn more about your journey because I know you've done incredible things, some not by choice, but we'll go into that a little bit more. But yeah, great to have you. It would just be great to start off with any for everyone, just a quick introduction.
Yeah, so sure. So my name's Charlotte. I am on Instagram as Accidental Female Developer, and I am a property developer and investor.
Amazing. And when you say you're a property investor, what do you specifically do?
So I do a mix of things really. I've got a buy-to-let portfolio, so I've managed to build up 10 houses in 10 months as a buy-to-let using BRR and builds to rent, and also just a couple of straightforward buy-to-lets as well. And my day job, I suppose, that's a bit of a side hustle because my day job, I suppose, is I'm building, or for the last 2 years, I've been building 26 new build houses as a developer. So yeah, a mixed bag of property stuff going on.
Sorry, when you say as a side hustle, buying 10 properties in 10 months is definitely not a side hustle.
It was compared to like building new builds. It was an easy side hustle once I'd worked out how to do the new builds.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Yeah, I probably suppose there's loads of learnings from that. But let's go right to the beginning. How did you get into property? What made you get into it?
So my name on Instagram, Accidental Female Developer, kind of is an indication of how I got into it, in that I didn't do it on purpose. And I had my father and my brother both passed away kind of around the same time. They both ran a property development company. They had bought a field with, or the business had bought a field with planning permission for 25 houses. And they literally both passed away within a couple of months of each other with cancer, very suddenly, leaving the field with planning permission. And this was end of 2019, so just before COVID.
Well, yeah, I'm sorry to hear that. But yeah, I guess, yeah, sorry, carry on. I know you were just
So they'd taken bank finance against that to fund the development. So although, you know, it seemed like there was money in the bank, it was actually not belonging to the business. It all had to be paid back.
Yeah.
And the only way to kind of progress this and be able to do that is for me to stop working in my job, which was I worked in marketing and PR, and learn how to build houses. So that's what I did. And that's what I've been doing for the last 2 years.
Were you ever in a property before that, or was it just as soon as that happened? Like, did you work with them on the property side, or was that just very completely separate?
Not at all. And in fact, I was always kind of, I think they always used to put me off doing it and just be like, oh no, like it's such a man's world, you won't get on here, like you just carry on doing your marketing thing. And, you know, I was doing well out of that anyway. And I didn't need to change anything. And
yeah,
so yeah, I didn't really have anything to do with it.
So you literally quit your job because you had all of this going on. How, obviously quitting your job and not having, did you have the income from the buy-to-let, or was it just purely on the...
No,
it was the developments and then you bought the buy-to-let as your side hustle.
Yeah, basically, because I had that stage where I wasn't in any money for probably between 6 and 12 months and just living off a credit card. And I just thought, I never want to be in this position ever again. And so hence why the appeal of a buy-to-let portfolio that would kind of pay for my life, basically, if, you know, anything happened, or if, you know, anything happened with a development company, I'd always be safe financially.
Okay, perfect. So that's quite interesting. So you've got this big project that's going on, and then you've also got buy-to-lets, which is good diversification from my point of view. But you mentioned using the BRR strategy property, but you're buying 10. So do you have like two that you're just like two that you're starting off with and using that as BRR, or talk me through that because I'm confused.
I started with, so the first, well, not the first four actually, but four of them were new builds. So I bought 4 plots with 2 sets of semi-detached on. Now, this was like, while like most people perhaps wouldn't start their portfolio that way, because I'd been kind of thrown into new build development, I already had the contacts, the materials and the workforce and things. So I could easily manage it at the same time as my day job, if you like. So the first 4 were new build to let. And then by remortgaging those, I was able to release the funds to kind of do BRRs and I think just one straightforward buy to let, but the rest were kind of money in, money out deals.
Oh, nice. So you've used your existing knowledge that you've done from the development side, which you were just thrown into, just to acquire more properties, and you've done a mix within that, whether it's BRR, buying straight purchase, or going through that new build route, which is quite cool because you can get so many properties within that new build space. Going back to the big project, I'm just going to call it the big project. Do you have a name for a project?
Well, the marketing name is Doveston Park, we called it.
Okay. Doveston Park.
Yeah, just like marketing brochure name.
Yeah. So no property experience. What did you do?
I went to university and then I did a course after university on business marketing. So I was like a big sort of advocate of education, and I thought, well, there's got to be a course that I can go on, maybe one day a week or something, or an evening course, and I'll just learn how to do this. Like there must be a course I can do. But actually what I found was I couldn't get onto any courses. Like the construction colleges and things like that just wouldn't accept me because I had no experience. So they were all saying like, you need months experience or we can't teach you what to do. So I really didn't have a choice. And then of course, COVID lockdown came like a month after I started, I think. And every kind of venue shut down anyway, with social distancing. Everywhere, it was quite isolating. So I actually had no choice but to kind of turn to like YouTube and Instagram and books, just anything to try and learn. And just on the job as well, just walking around, watching, speaking to everyone, and find out what was going on, and kind of trying to build the process of development in my head.
Yeah. This is the issue that I have. It's like I can't just go on site and learn like basic things, like, you know, things that you would pick up on other properties or anything for your future. Like I'm just like solely relying on them, but also I can't be curious to be like, oh, what's happening over there? Why are you doing that? Whereas I guess if you're on site checking in most days of the week, that your natural curiosity is going to peak in there as well, especially when you don't know what you're doing in that sense. But at least you had a great team that could really, really help you. Just before we go into kind of talking a little bit more about the developments and the buy to let, I'm going to get into a quick icebreaker. So I've got like 5 questions I'm going to ask you. You just got to pick the top thing out of your brain. Tea or coffee?
Coffee.
I'm a massive coffee drinker. I don't drink that much tea. What's that?
I need it.
New build or creating your own build?
New build.
Modern furnishing or old fashioned? Well, not old fashioned, but like, you know, the retro vintage look.
I'm gonna go modern, definitely, for the clean lines.
Yeah, everything's done for you. It just smells so like new house. Favorite book of all time?
Ooh. I don't know about all time, but I'm currently reading David Goggins' Can't Break Me. I'm only halfway through it, but that's definitely quite up there with some of the best.
I don't know if you've listened to on Audible, but he goes into a little bit more in the Audible. There's like not an extra chapter, but there's like something different about it, but he just goes into a little bit more. So yeah, maybe read the book and then listen to the Audible.
Yeah, definitely. So interesting.
That book is just, it's very intense.
There's a lot that's happened to him. However bad, like this is always the thing, it was like, however bad you think your own life is, there's always somebody who's got it 10 times worse. And like, that's a good example of like coming through adversity as well.
Yeah, no, definitely. I feel like you have to be in the mind frame to read that book. Like you've got to be in a good space to read that book. Otherwise, yeah. Okay, cool. So going back to the property, what was your major learning or learnings that you had from doing the big development?
Um, you know what? Probably, although I'd done kind of management before of people, I think, you know, how am I going to put this? It's a different kind of people in like construction and construction management. It's very different kind of people. You know, they're not really checking their emails, or you know, probably not going to ring you back either. So when you're working in that corporate environment, where things get done, weekly meetings and stuff like that, like you can just, that gets thrown out the window. It's it's just a different way of working and a different way of communicating. So I know, you know, some of the guys I have to speak to verbally, some of them they'll pick up an email, some of them I have to WhatsApp, some of them I have to text message. Like it's just a different way of working, where when you're in a corporate environment, it's so easy just to like include everybody in a group message, or you know, it's and also they're used to kind of managing their own workload, I guess, and with the skills shortage, it's like they are not short of work, so you are constantly trying to get their time, get their attention, get them to finish jobs when they've got so much other choice of jobs they can just go on to. So that's been a real challenge to overcome.
Yeah, I know, managing people, hopefully never have to do that on a build team. But did you use that when you were going into the buy-to-lets, like that you could easily use that experience that you had to manage various teams on that bigger project to a technically smaller project?
So I did it backwards, didn't I, really? So I was, so when it came to managing like a refurb, like of a flat or whatever, or a small house, it's just like, oh well, this is actually easier compared to like trying to get a new build house finished. So yeah, and I actually with the refurbs now I've ended up with like a multi-trade builder who can just go in and do almost everything. So that's another reason why I love refurbs, because you can get one person to do almost everything, but the electrics and the plumbing specialists, things like that. But big difference between those two.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I've just got a thing saying your network is low, and then it's just like made you this thing. Oh no, now you're back. It should be fine. But yeah, if there's a change in like when people are watching, there's probably a change in like you going to this size square.
I don't know, nothing's changed my end.
No, you're completely fine. It's a little bit blurry. I think you're back. It's fine. You're back now. You're back. I don't want to jinx it, but perfect. So so going to the refurbs, or one man can do it, two people can do it. With the electricians, a lot easier to manage. But someone going into that might think it's a lot harder. But yeah, just go out and do the big projects basically and get the experience from that. But what would you say? Would you have rather gone down the buy-to-let route first, or jumped into a bigger project first? Like, what would be your ideal outcome?
I would never advise jumping into a big project first. However, you know, I still managed it. I've still done it. So it is possible. But, you know, you have to have like a head for heights really, and that kind of thing. Like you have to be very, you know, the bigger the project, the bigger the risk as well, right? So you have to, like, I had nothing to lose, because when I took on this development project, it was already like in debt, if you like. It was already in the minuses, so really I had nothing to lose. I could only add value. I could have wrecked it all, but you know what I mean. I had value to add to that site. The way the property market's gone as well, like it's just gone up and up and up, and that was in my favor as well. So yeah, it depends on the nature of the market really. Like, if the market is hot, then, you know, maybe you can take a bigger risk, and you think that market's going to keep going up, then actually maybe you can invest a bit more, take a bigger risk, add a bit more value. depends on your risk appetite and the kind of nature of the market at the time, I think.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, time in the market is key, but sometimes when you're already looking for properties or like a hot trending topic is done, you're kind of already late to the market, because by the time you complete, especially on bigger projects, like the time it takes to complete and get all your finances sorted, you're 3 months behind. Or I know we waited like 6 months for the purchase, so like you're already 6 months behind, and that is a lot to change the market. So it's really like trying to figure out what you want and where you see your long-term opportunity. What are your plans with so you're going to keep the buy-to-lets? What are your plans with the new builds? Are you looking to sell them, or are you going to keep them on? What are your plans for that?
Most of them were sold off plan, so took the decision during COVID to market them off plan and sell them. The last few, I think I'm looking at keeping, and that's basically because of inflation. So I just think, what's the point of having, so once you're into profit for those last few, there's no point having them in the bank unless there's something else to put that money into, because I might as well leave it in the properties and let the property prices carry on going up than have it in the bank and get it eroded away by inflation. So that's where I'm at the moment with those. There are some smaller projects, development projects that are currently in the pipeline. But nothing on the scale of kind of 25, 26 houses. So we'll have to see what the market does. I don't know. It's a strange time. It's a really strange time in the market, and I think everyone's waiting to see what's going to happen.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I think everyone's just kind of like waiting. Is there going to be a crash? Is there going to be a correction? I think we're already seeing some things with the banks. I've definitely seen it with like the bank offers that we're getting at the moment. But the thing is, it's never too late. Like you mentioned, like inflation, is that still better? Getting a little bit of a, paying what the market value is, or getting that little bit of savings and stuff. So yeah, what's next for you then? So in terms of your property journey, what's next for you?
I have bought myself a holiday apartment in Spain.
Oh,
so
beautiful.
I would so that's kind of like a bit of a reward for my hard work. I actually bought it as an investment, of course, and I've already made money on it, of course. So it's already got up.
You'd be a property investor otherwise.
But I just don't want to rent it out. I bought it, I was going to rent it out, and now I've kind of like spent a bit of time in it. I'm like, oh, don't really want to rent it out. So I've kind of kept that, but I'd love to be able to set up the business so that it can work without me some of the time, so I can spend a little bit of time working remotely. Have a few more development projects here, because I've got a good team now, so it's been nice to keep them going. And I've also got a guy that's working for me full time doing the refurbs, so to keep projects in the pipeline for him to keep going as well. There's a lot of like plates to manage, if you like, a lot of plates to spin, but until one of them drops, I'm just going to keep them going.
Yeah, you may as well, like, especially if you've got the resources and stuff, because building that up again is just, no one wants to start from the beginning, right? And if you use a build team because they're working on a different project, then you've got to find a completely new team or wait for them to finish. So yeah.
A lot of people say, oh, why don't you kind of move area and look at different investment areas, like geographically? And I think, well, I've already got my team here, so I'd rather wait until something right came up here around my area in West Midlands and use the same team, because building a new team, well, I'm sure it's not easy, is it?
Honestly, I think that's like the most time consuming thing, is to find the right team or find that one right person. The amount of conversations you have to have, the amount of time spent on it, and not even just that, it's the location. You've got to do your whole due diligence again. Like, you've got to start everything from scratch when you move out of area. It has to be done, part of the process, if you want to buy properties. But if you've got somewhere close to home, like, because that's the disadvantage I have, is like investing away from home. I can't be there once, so I have to rely on other people. I can't learn as I'm going. All I can like do is FaceTime my builders, and that's pretty much it. But there's obviously like advantages and disadvantages depending on where you are. Any more buy-to-lets or anything in your side hustle?
Yeah, I've got one in legals at the moment. I'm just, so when I say 10 and 10, they're not all I've got one in refurb and one's just about to complete and will need a refurb. So they're not all cash flowing yet.
That's fine. That's very impressive. 10 in 10.
So I'm just waiting for them to go through, and yeah, so hopefully in about 6 months time, I would imagine, before everything's sort of cash flowing and refinanced. And yeah, but I would like to just kind of keep, now I've got the team, like I feel like building the team is such the key thing, and I've got accounts with suppliers, you know, which again isn't easy to do when you're starting out on your own, like, you know, just starting out from scratch. So definitely, you know, it'd be worth keeping those on, and it's just difficult to find a deal at the moment, as you know, but I'm going to keep looking.
Yeah, I know the market is, but the right thing will pop up. You just got to be there ready, right? Like as they say. What tips would you give to anyone? I guess your circumstances are a little bit different, but having experience on both sides, the development side and the buy-to-let side, what tips would you, I guess 3 tips that you would give to anyone that's starting out or already has like 1 or 2 buy-to-lets?
Do the research, build your knowledge and get the experience. That's tip 1. That's all 1. Right, so do your background. 2, be prepared to make sacrifices. I drove around in a Peugeot Bipper van for like 12-18 months before I could get a car. So like, you just got to do what you got to do. Like, you've got to put the groundwork in and make the sacrifices to be able to get the freedom at the end. 3, I think just mindset, have the right mindset, because that was a turning point for me, because I spent like the first 6 months going, oh my God, I can't do this. I don't know what I'm doing. I can't do this. And it was that point when I just had like little successes and I thought, do you know what? Maybe I can do this. And I am doing this. And I think mindset's so important. And from that point onwards, it's just taken off. So yeah, knowledge and experience, make some sacrifice and have the right mindset. And I think with those 3 things, anyone can succeed.
Yeah, and I love that, because that's not just to do with property, it's any business or any investing kind of thing that you're going into, is that you have to do it for the future. It's not for like the next 6 months or that what's the word, like the gratification that you get straight away. There's a word for it, just can't remember what it is.
It's not instant gratification. It's like you really have to earn it.
Yeah, exactly. And it's that that whole process of delayed gratification and being okay with that you're not going to get instant, like you mentioned. So yeah, no, massive one. I completely feel like I forgot about mindset, just because it's like such a thing that you just have in the back of your mind, because you know you're working on it constantly, but you forget to tell people about it. I'm glad you mentioned it. What's one thing that you're looking forward to in 2022?
Getting my 10 in 10 portfolio up and cash flowing fully, and then hopefully being able to carry on, continue growing it, and also building my knowledge on the development side of things as well, so learning more about new build developments. I'm looking at taking on a listed building project, so which, you know, normally I wouldn't have taken on, and probably not a lot of people would want to take that on, but then I think, well, I didn't think I could build 25 new build houses, so I'm just what I've got to lose. I'm going to give it a go. So that's what I'm kind of looking forward to doing.
And you've got the right team behind you as well, so that already adds in so much value that you can't put monetary value to that. So thank you so much for this. If anyone wants to find you, which I'm probably sure, and I'm apologizing for the DMs that you're going to get on buy-to-lets and developments, but if where can people find you? What's the best avenues?
I'm on Instagram at accidental female developer.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I'll put them in the description box of where you can find Charlotte. Yeah, perfect. Thank you so much for joining today, and yeah, really looking forward to everyone listening to this.
Thank you for having me.